Hi, guys. This is Mary from Intuitive Refresh. I'm super happy to be here, going live with you all talking about relationships. So, thank you all for being so patient. I know I said 9, but then it's 9:16. I was just trying to get some things taken care of. So, thank you. So, let's talk about relationships. I feel like I'm gonna clarify some things first. So before we jump into this live, I just want to say, please, 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 you have free will, so always use your discernment, your best discernment. You have free will. You know what's best for you, so only take what resonates with you. Do not take what doesn't resonate. Okay, we're all adults. I make these for adults. So, I trust that you are a responsible adult and you make your own decisions. Okay. And then I also want to state real quick what I'm going to be sharing. It's going to be covering every types of gender. So it doesn't matter if you identify as a divine feminine or a divine masculine. If you lean more feminine, lean more masculine, and you're in a relationship with, if you're a divine feminine with a divine feminine, that's fine. If you're a divine feminine with a divine masculine, that's perfectly fine too. Or a divine masculine with a divine masculine, that's perfectly fine. I just want to state this real quick in the beginning so people understand and they're not confused who I'm speaking to. And then I'm going to be talking about singles, and then those who are taken, and then those who are married, and then partnerships, and then situationships and open relationship. And then I'm going to also be covering a bit of karmic relationships, soulmate relationships, and twin flame relationships, pertaining to all of the relationship types. So, singles, taken, married, situationships, open relationships. So, yeah, if you guys are here, say hi. I would love, love, love to, just be very engaged with my audience here. Um, I'm gonna be sort of. Um, oh, hi, Hershey, her. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually let me grab a tissue real quick. My nose is a little itchy. I feel like it's like the weather that's changing. Like I don't really have allergies, just my nose is like itchy. It's weird. Okay. So it doesn't matter who you're with in this lifetime, who you are with is going to really help you understand yourself. So, understanding yourself looks like being more aware of who you are as an individual. Every relationships that we go into or we partake in or we end up being a part of, even though we think we didn't we didn't like sign up for it, all of those are relationships that we actually soulfully um, consent to, even though it may sound a little hard. And I know there are relationships that are not fun, but or not, or they're not that it's not fun. There are relationships that are harder than others. Okay, um, there are relationships that are not beautiful. Like you know, it can lean more on the more physical side, either physical abuse or verbal abuse. And so I do want to state that what I'm talking about isn't going to go too deep into like the very specifics, but I do want to acknowledge that too, because I understand that some of us may feel trigger listening to certain aspect that I will be talking about. So if you do feel triggered by a topic that I do share, please, please understand it's not my intention to offend or to uh, do harm to anyone. It's just me speaking on my experience, or I'm speaking on what I've seen and heard, and you know really just it's a way to just share with everyone and not to hurt anyone. So we can be in any type of relationship with anyone. And, you know, we would, different relationship is going to make you feel a different way. So I know that, like, from like, if you're single, I know that there's quite many, um, quite many, fishes in the sea. And I understand that it can really lean like any direction, right? Because when we're single, we're just so open to really anyone that can really uh, be a good connection with us, be in a good connection or relationship with us. And it's so easy to really fall into it. But I just want to say that even though that's the case, continue to, you know, feel into it and see if that's really for you. I would say, it's really, I'm not trying to give any like special advice here. It's just if you feel like it resonates, then yeah, and I'm not trying to butt into anyone's personal life. What we say here is all just, for fun and for conversation. It's not to influence anyone nor to tell anyone to do anything. Um, but yeah, so looking on the spiritual side of relationships, okay, so it always starts out with one, right? That's why the number, like even in numerology, of course there's the number zero, but then we know that the very first number of showing some sort of abundance is number one, right? And then it goes number two, right? And so on. So we already know that. And so for singles, it always starts there where everyone is single. So when we come down, we're single. Now, I'm not going to go into like people who are twins or, triplets. That's another story. But usually, even us, right? When we come down to this world and we're like, okay, you know, for us who the typical situation or scenario is that we come a whole, as whole, and we come through, um, and we're here to explore, right? So, as a single person, we go and we experience life, and yeah, we can meet so many other people and feel drawn to them, or feel like, oh, they're not a good fit, and that's perfectly fine. Some of us choose to be in a relationship, okay, and then some of us choose to continue to be single. Now, this is where it gets very complex. Okay, so for those who are single, you could either be single, single, and you're just not interested in anyone, and that's cool, or you could be single and you're in a situationship. Okay, I'm gonna kind of group like the situationship and the open relationship kind of all, and that I'm gonna talk about that part first, just because I feel like it kind of it relates more to each other. So we can be single but in a situationship. We can be single or in an open relationship, right? Um or that we can be there's also being taken and then being in an open relationship, but I I'll talk about that later. But right now I just want to talk about the singles. So the reason why we're here, as single individual is to really explore. If you are single right now, what I'm feeling is that you have made that conscious decision, whether whether you know it or not, or that you subconsciously do it or not, or consciously or subconsciously do it, you are choosing to be single in that sense. And I understand it may sound a little hard to hear this, because it's like some people, they are pursuing a relationship, but it's really difficult. But what I'm saying is that for those who are single right now, who are just choosing not to actually be in a relationship, for those individuals, then that's because they're here now in a place to reflect. Okay, so if you're single and you're like, I'm not interested in relationships, here and there, I'm not gonna judge anyone, but if you're like, having, intimacy with others, but you're choosing to be single, that's fine. Like, but then I'm just saying, like, you are still single because you're not choosing to say, hey, I picked this person and I'm with this person, etc., etc. Okay. So for those who are single and they're just, living their life, and they don't want to be actually in a house or in a setting where there's another individual, they're here to really choose to figure out their life, figure out what they want to do, figure out themselves, and really know themselves deep down. And it almost feel like they've been in relationships before, whether this is you or not. This is a general reading, so it may not pertain to everyone. Hi, Diane. So for singles who are choosing not to be involved in a relationship, they're here to really figure themselves out and to know who they are, and to really grow on that level where they truly truly like go deep down and just focus on them. So there's no like external, there's not a lot of like, there's not like very very prominent external energies that's going to come through. So, you know um and it gets so complex, you guys, because it just gets really complex. But I want to keep it very simple. Okay, so for those single individual, understand that if you even if you have broken up in a relationship and you're back into who you're back by yourself, that is because we are all here to learn and grow. And so our spirit, our team, our angels, our, what we signed up in the beginning is already that we want that period, right? We need a period of just us. And it goes both ways. It may be us needing that period, and the relationship ends, and then we go back into this stage where we're here to reset. Or it's the other individual who needs to reset. So your partner that needed to reset, and they go off and, do their own thing. This is why I say it's complex, okay? Because it's not one person, but it's two, okay? But just for individuals now, like if you're single again, understand, like, this is no judgment. It's like, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just speaking spiritually about, the relationship statuses, the possibilities, and what the possibility on a spiritual level is that you are here back to reset. Okay, so if you're single, right? Like, you ain't got no, like, this, right? Like, but there's no commitment, right? You're just in a situationship, and you're like, kind of like this person. I went on a few dates. I don't really know though. And you're wishy-washy. You're still single. Like, you're not choosing to be in a relationship, but then you want to continue to just keep meeting this person or these people to try to find, see if there's a connection, right? You want to meet all these people. Now, for those individuals who are single and are in situationships, now they're here to really go in and explore outside, really going out and seeing and testing all the waters and figuring out their boundaries. Okay. And this is also kind of true to, I feel like this is also going to be true to open relationship as well. So if you are an individual who's choosing to opt into an open relationship, meaning you guys are together, but you're open to going out and being with other individuals, that that is that is also you choosing at a soul level to just explore and to not be in that tie because you consciously know that you want more than what is already there. So you want to know more than what's beyond like just a relationship with a individual person. So you want to go and test every single thing. And it seems like for these individuals usually it can be that for them they're on a mission to actually find out if they're on a mission to actually find out about how to love. Okay. So if you notice you're more like the type of person that like to go out and explore all these other individuals and then finally like say, hey, I'm interested in this person, or say, hey, I don't know, at the end you are here to learn. You're really here, you're exploring to learn how to love. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not disregarding that we're all here to like, we are all here to learn to love and to grow. But for those who choose to um, keep going into open relationship, it's because you haven't found the one yet, and you're on this mission to just keep going and trying and seeing what works. And sometimes I feel that it could be that you are not you tend to be very confused. Okay. So for those who are in an open relationship, this is not to offend you. This is not to say, oh, you don't know what you want. It's just that at the end of the day, like, be very, very honest with yourself. Um, yeah, keep exploring, but just know yourself and understand that, yeah, you just haven't found the one yet. And that it can create confusion in the time being. Okay. And then for those who are taken but not married, so like for example, me. Um, we're in a relationship because we are here. For those who are taken but not married, we are here, and it seems like we're improving, but then we just feel like we're going right back to where we are. So I feel like for those who are taken in a relationship but not married, there could be this push and pull. And again, I'm not saying this is not possible for any of these relationship types. It's just really what I've seen mainly, like the focus of this based on my own experience. It seems as though those who are in relationships, but I'm not saying you got to get married. Okay, I'm just saying those who are in a relationship but don't actually um, really like go into the other part, which is marriage. um they're choosing to just, I feel that they're choosing to still work through the relationship. Okay. And this is about soul growth for those who have not taken that leap yet, is because of tying the knot, is because they're still working on the relationship. There's not a solid, there's not an actual like 100% solid, um, there's not a solid like actual like yes to both of them, and so that's why they're choosing to stay, just in a relationship, but they're not able to let go each other too, so they're choosing to be together. And this is really interesting because um it's okay. Like there's no wrong here. um there's no wrong in any relationship types, because at the end of the day we're all learning from each of them, and I have gone through um, I'm not gonna say I've gone through all of them. I've gone through being single. I've gone through being in a situationship. I've gone through, um, you know, being taken and then breaking up, and then I haven't been through being in a marriage yet. But I want to include all these relationship types because they are all unique. Like you may be a person who don't believe in marriage, and that's cool, that's fine. Then this isn't for you. But if you are a person who understands that there are different relationship types, then yeah. And I'm just going to be very honest and blunt. If you don't believe in marriage, then that's perfectly fine. No one is forcing anyone to believe in these societal creations. But I want to say that marriage, honestly, on a spiritual level, I feel like marriage is actually very real to me because um when you get married, and if you look at it astrologically or on a spiritual level, there are certain blessings that comes through. There are. And if you don't want to believe in it, that's cool. But if you do, then yeah, tune in and also do more research. I'm just gonna be very honest. I believe in marriage because I feel that at the end of the day, there is this deeper commitment, right? That we choose to have. I'm not saying, I'm not saying we're all gonna commit and we're not gonna like have any divorce. Divorce rate is crazy and that's what it is. But all I'm saying is that when you choose to tie the knot with someone, you're choosing to actually make a soul contract with them, okay? And this is what I'm talking about on the spiritual level. I'm not talking about, oh, like like, I'm not trying to be super, like, I don't know. Well, I don't even know the term, but for others who think these are all make believe, okay, that's fine. But really, like for me, I'm just here to talk about what I know and share what I've experienced and seen. But there is blessings when there's unionship, and I've seen it. I've seen it in families. Okay, like I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in my partner's family. I've seen it in others. They tell stories, like they're like, yeah, after they get married, boom, like they got a house, boom, they got like all these things, like like gifts, and like boom, they go on a trip. Like I get the whole honeymoon thing, but some people don't get actually go on trips after they get married, okay? So don't for a second think that that is the norm. No. Some When you get married, it takes you to another level, because you're actually making a soul contract with that person. Now, you're also, when you're in a relationship with someone, right? Whether you're taken or you're just single, you are also as well on a soul contract as well, but you're not on the married soul contract. So, from what I've seen, if you're single, then you're still working on yourself, and the universe keeps pulling you back. And if you get into a relationship and then boom, you end up being single again, that's why. You need to work on yourself. You're not gonna like just say, hey, like I'm perfect. Like no one's perfect, of course. But all I'm saying is that universe is gonna say, hey, you said you were going to work on yourself. What's up? Right. So it's just pulling you back, right, to help you remember and to refine and retune into your highest version, like what your highest version can really come through for you and share with you so that you can really grow as an individual. And then for those who are in open relationships, you're in an open relationship because you don't know, you're testing the water, so you're kind of in this constant like touch water, this touch, touching every type of water. That's what I'm seeing. But it's okay. You gotta explore because your soul contract is to explore and know yourself through exploring others, right? Not by going, you already looked in, but then you're here now exploring to be with others because there is a need to work on your partnership and your communication with others, okay? So I hope that makes sense. um ugh, I had like a lint in my mouth. Oh my god, I don't like it. Okay, when you have a puppy, yeah. Your puppy's fluff gets everywhere. Um, and then for those who are taken, you are actually on that mission with that person, working on um, that relationship, moving towards a greater like I'm not promising anyone anything, but like when you are taken and you are in a relationship and you're trying to move towards marriage, but you just feel like marriage doesn't seem to be there on the plate, then you are both still needing to work on the relationship. You're still needing to build that relationship's trust. And I know, like, back in the past, right? I'm gonna bring in a little cultural piece here. In the Hmong culture, obviously, if you get pregnant, you have a child with someone. Usually, what happens is that they'll say, "Hey, do you want to keep the child? If so, yeah, then you guys got to be together." So I get it. In the past, there is that aspect. But now I know there's more options. And so, yeah, there's options, definitely. So, though you got married through having a child together, or though you got married because you chose to have that marriage together, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you guys both chose to be married. And that's the underlying thing here that I want to talk about. So if you're married, regardless of what your factor is, or you know whatever, it's going to show you that you actually have to be in a union ship to learn. So they put you together right away because you gotta learn how to be together. um and now this is where it gets really complex. So you can be married and be with a karmic partner. You can be married and be with a soulmate. You can be married and be with a twin flame. And same with being taken, being open, being single. Okay, so now it's going to get more complex. Doesn't matter gender, whatever you identify with, whoever you choose to marry, that's who you are with, that you made that so contract with, right? So that's who you are going to be with, and you chose to be with. So you gotta work with that, right? And it doesn't mean that you end there or that you can't leave. You always have free will and you can choose to leave. It's just that you made that contract saying, hey, I want to be with this person for this amount, right, of years, because I need to learn about how to communicate, how to give, how to love, how to really have compassion, how to even it even extend to the family lineage. Okay, so Nippon, like so Nippon hay tia có mùi dụa là hải ninh, right, or có mùi dụa là that like that gate so and that means like that is for you to those there are lessons in that lineage, their lineage, that you have to learn to grow. Okay, so don't think for a second universe is like, oh yeah, oops, sorry, you're with the wrong person. No, if you're wondering like why the heck am I with this person, it's because you made that deal already and you agree to it. And I don't I don't feel like anything's by force. Like at the end of the day, you have the right to walk away. That's why divorce is so prominent, is because people are choosing to walk away from relationships that don't work for them. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip. But I really want to just say that regardless of what relationship type we are in, we all have things that we need to learn. And yeah, part of it is that I think it's fun. It's fun learning all these phases of relationships because at the end of the day, okay, like our soul is like the common ground here is that we're all learning about love. Okay, so if you guys already know this, that's great. If you guys, are newer or have not been able to go into to dive deep, then yeah, I'm just sharing this with you all. That at the end of the day, it boils down to love. How do we love? How do we learn to love ourselves? How do we learn to love others? How do we learn to love someone who we don't even really know? How do we learn to have compassion, right? And love, right? For those individuals we don't even know. And then how do we give and take in a loving relationship, right? So there's just so many lessons to be learned in these types of relationships. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about karmic relationship and the soulmate relationship and the twin flame. I'm going to explain a bit of each first, what I've known and what I've seen and experienced or have not experienced. So karmic relationship, yes, I have been in, obviously, a few of those. Let me know too. Have you guys been in any sort of karmic relationship? Like, those young puppy love? Those are definitely karmic relationships, at least from my experience. Those very first few love relationship is gonna teach you, okay? It's things that you're gonna choose to want to first go into to learn so that you can have the tools necessary to really help you choose your next partner. you know um but really, karmic partners can be anyone that you have a extremely strong pull to them. Now I'm looking at this on a spiritual level, okay? So I just want to say that real quick so you're not confused. um so when you're in a karmic relationship with someone or them with you, that relationship is going to be so like overly like I feel like it's very overwhelming. You're going to like really be so drawn and so attracted to them, and you just like have no clue. And every single time you like make love with them, it just feels so eternal. But then like you can't, and then like when you're so upset with them, it feels like it's end of the world. You just want to like tear everything apart. So the strong push pull, the strong ups and down, those are very strong indicator of a karmic relationship. And then for a soulmate, this is gonna be a relationship where, yes, there's always gonna be ups and down, but now you and them, like you guys are more in a like calmer state. So you guys can be really super duper upset with each other, but then you guys are just like kind of in your own space, and you guys understand like, okay, I'm gonna just figure like you're not actually going through those extreme high emotions that you are with the karmic relationship. And I feel like for the soulmate, it's more like you're willing to work it out. You're not just gonna break it off and then come right back into the relationship, like go back and forth. I feel like for karmic relationship, you can notice that pattern of breakup, come back, breakup, come back. For soulmate, it's like you already learned what a karmic relationship is. So when you're ready for a soulmate, then the soulmate will come, okay? And I'm saying this based on my experience. Um I noticed like I had a lot of highs and lows with men in the past, but now like I feel more calm and, at ease with my partner. And I think it's because I had to learn those lessons. But also, those were experiences for me to show. My husband jokes that we must be in a karmic relationship. He must have had to pay debt to me in a past life because in this lifetime he is more pulled to me. Vice versa. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Diane. Yes. Now, okay, I kind of want to I'm gonna swing back. Okay, Diane, I wanna actually talk about that too. Yung mga Yotzingo where it is straight up karmic first. I'm not saying your relationship, okay? I'm not doing anyone a reading for anyone tonight, okay? I'm not reading anyone. I'm just sharing my what I've seen with family, friends, or outside. But I'm not gonna hold any names. But this is just yeah, I get it. I get what you mean, Diane. Oh my gosh. I get it. Like sometimes girl or sometimes I be feeling that too with my partner, but I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. I joke about it too, but it's not, but I know where I stand. Yeah. So I will say, I'll come back around to that. But not your relationship per se, but other people who may experience that. Um, so there are soulmate relationships where you'll just be so upset, but then that you're gonna like be in a more calm state and just be just reflect and really like come to understand that hey, you both want to make this work. That's what I notice in my soulmate relationship is that I keep choosing to want to be with this person versus my karmic relationship where I was like, I don't want you. And then I leave. And then all of a sudden, I just out of the blue end up right back at them, like right back with them. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why am I, what? Like, I left, I came back, I left, I came back. And this is no shame. Okay, y'all. Like, if you guys are going to shame people for going back to other people, then you have it's a joke because you must have done this in some kind of past life too, but you learned from it. So if you're wondering like, I don't do that, I'm blah 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 blah, like that's all ego. Like everyone has experienced some kind, all these types of relationships, and they're growing and they're learning from it. So yeah, this is not to shame anyone, but yeah, I'm in a relationship where I'm like going back forth. And that was my young days where it was so toxic. And that's why it's a karmic relationship, is because of the toxicity, the unknown, the scarcity mindset, the lack, right? You're so glued to them because you're so scared that you have no one else. And yeah, so that's for the karmic relationship. And you may feel that for karmic type of relationship, it may feel that you're always depending. Like there's this like strong, like just super strong codependency. Now I know there can be codependency on all different level, but this is like very strong codependency, like where you feel like it's end of the world again, like very high emotion, like end of the world if you are not with them or they're not with you. So I know I experienced this where I felt like it was end of the world if I wasn't going to go back. And so I kept choosing to go back because I was like, oh, I need to feel safe again. So you perpetuate that cycle and it gets so hard to leave. And I get it, it gets really hard. But all I'm saying here is if you feel that you may be in a karmic relationship, then, really go deep down and, tune into that. Or if you feel like you have mixed, like you can't tune into it, find help, right? Um, and have someone non-biased to really help you walk through, someone that you trust, someone that someone that you trust that has some type of professional work or some kind of strong trust that you can, trust their opinion. But really, it's really hard. And sometimes it's those relationship that no one wants to tell you because it's really hard to hear. It's those karmic relationships are those that are really hard to hear about. Like when you people are telling you like, hey, like they're not treating you right. And like you're not treating them right. And it's so hard and so complex. So really, it's when your egos are screaming at each other and hitting each other, but butting heads 24/7, okay? And that's the really hard part about karmic relationships. And when you break out of it, whoo, hallelujah, like it feels so good. But if you are still in it, you find that it feels so comfortable. Like why would you even leave, right? So this is just the cycle that I've been through that I'm sharing. I'm not saying this is the same for everyone. Everyone's how they perpetuate their karmic relationship will vary on their growth, their lineage, their partner, the different energy between you and your partner. So yeah, true. Hey, you came late. Oh, I came late. I don't understand, Angela. Are you talking about my live or your live? I came late on my live. Yes, I did. Okay, okay. I think you're talking about my live. Yeah, my live, I came late because I own up to it. I was just I had to like take care of stuff. And I was like trying to type up. This is the thing, like when you come onto YouTube, they want you to type the title, type what you're gonna talk about. I didn't do that because I'm kind of getting in the groove of like doing it. And I don't know, I was just being kind of tired. So I was like, "Ugh, whatever." But I'm here. Yeah. So thank you for sharing and being so open. Yeah, yeah, Diane. Yeah. So karmic relationship is a form of it can look like that. Now, for soulmate, I'm going to go back to soulmate now. Soulmate is just really you and them coming together, and you're not actually butting head as strong. You're willing to listen to each other. You're willing to work things through, and you're willing to actually go back, pull the information from your karmic relationship and say, "Oh, I remember that and I don't actually want to do that." So those are some indications of like kind of like when like, "Oh, okay, they're a soulmate," because you actually want to work things out and you don't actually like want to like just leave and break up and then 2 3 weeks later you end up with them again. And I noticed that growth in me. I noticed that honesty in me. um it's that even though I had feelings of I don't know this is going to work out and I'm scared, I'm still choosing to really be with that person because I understand that I'm not going anywhere and they're not going anywhere and it's not end of the world, and we can find ways to really help us and to really elevate us, okay? So when you're with your soulmate or the life partner, um they're gonna they're gonna really help you grow too, and they will call you out and they will say, hey, I notice you do this, like how come you do that? But the karmic partner is not gonna um be open to really. So this is like what I've seen. The karmic partner isn't going to say, hey, what's wrong, like let's work this out, let's figure out like how come you feel this way, let me, I feel this way because XYZ, right? The karmic partner is just gonna straight up blame you. And then you're gonna blame them too. Like it goes both ways. You and them are gonna blame each other till the end until you both realize that, oh, it's not a blame game. So I noticed that with me and my partner now, um, for sure it's, for me, I have felt that it's a soulmate relationship, and I have other readings done, and though I did not ask, it was confirmed on their end, like, hey, it feels like a soulmate, and I trust them because I follow them for a very long time before I do these, like, these types of readings or interaction with them, um opening up myself to them. So I do feel that, like, really, like, for me right now, I'm on a level of really just growing myself. And even though my partner, they're at a different level, that's fine. I think we're all here to grow and help bring each other up. So there's no, hey, I'm going to leave you behind. Bye. I think that's when you really know that you're together on a soulmate level, is that you're not going to leave each other behind. As for the karmic, you're going to leave each other behind, and that was my mentality for the longest time that I had to break out of. It wasn't his fault, that I was acting being yes, there were some things that he did that triggered me, but at the end of the day, it was me perpetuating that karmic cycle on that I carried through my lifetimes. Okay, so I just want to share that too. There's also, like, other external factors, okay, that affects you, but I'm just gonna keep it simple. So, yeah, so your soulmate, you guys will always try to make things work, whether it's, really difficult, or it's like, things doesn't seem to really be there. Even though things, like, there's not a there seems to always be, like, a basic understanding. Like with you and your soulmate, there's always a basic, at least a basic foundation for you both to be on board and not, like, do the whole, like, I betray you, you betray me, kind of thing. It's just, hey, I'm not gonna go behind your back and do this, right? So there's maturity in the soulmate connection. I feel like that's the energy that's really coming through for me, like, is the maturity, the compassion, the not constantly keep, like, you're not keeping tabs on each other. Like, you're just saying, hey, I trust you. You go do this. You come back safely. Okay. So that's what I feel for the soulmate. And I'm not saying, oh, the soulmate is, like, so beautiful and all glory. No, the downside to the soulmate part is that it's so hard to, like, really it's sometimes hard to really be sometimes it's harder to get the critique from each other. That's what I feel. So with the karmic, you just want to go at each other, hash it out. You don't even care to listen to each other. But for the soulmate, you're, like, willing and open to hear the critique, or the critique, but it's so hard to find the strength to change. But eventually, what you do is that you do, work towards that, right? If you and them are truly on that, soulmate level, meaning you guys are both vibing at a higher level than the karmic level, then, you guys are gonna both understand that I know that this triggers you, and I know that I get triggered because of this, and I understand that, I that you are upset and that I'm upset, but I'm willing and you're willing to both look past it. Okay. So that's the beauty of the soulmate, but also the downside is that it's really hard. It's the real, it's like the growth, like the real growth happens, I feel like, in the soulmate stage, where if you do end up with being with your soulmate, you're gonna have to learn those really you're gonna have to really learn. Cause I noticed that, I say certain things to my partner, and it was a very bad habit that you know, I carried, forward out of my karmic, and so I'm trying to break it. But it's when you start saying, like, stuff like, oh, yeah, you're going to this place? Oh, yeah, but you don't go to my like, you don't go with me to this, like, you start being a little petty, a little, like, a little, like, you just have a hard time understanding why they're doing what they wanna do versus you, and it could kinda bring, you know and then, like, they will call you out, and you'll be like, "Hmm, yeah, I gotta stop doing that." Like, I gotta stop focusing on why are they doing this and not including me, right? So, the whole part of the soulmate level, I feel, is that you truly love each other and trust each other. Um and so that's what I've been learning is to trust my partner. Even and I trust him, of course. Like I don't have like I'm like I know like we're both adults. We're not gonna go do weird stuff, stuff that not that it's bad or if people are open to doing those stuff as a open relationship, that's fine. But I'm just saying like as a person who is in a one like a monogamous, I believe that's the word, monogamous relationship, like, yeah, like we just trust each other, uh, and we're adults about it. So that's the interesting part, for soulmate. Now, for the twin flame, I'm gonna be honest, I have not been in a twin flame relationship, so I can't speak too much about it, but just from what I've heard from others, let's see. Let me just look it up because I know people have different ways of perceiving this relationship. So, from what I got is that from Google is that a twin flame is a person whom you have an intense connection and who may change your life in a profound ways. And this is usually a term. Twin flame is a term used in the spiritual community. Um, you know, whether it's real or not real, it's up to you to perceive that. Twin flames, they say they fit together like puzzle, they're like each other's flame. And what I've always heard is that it's one flame turned into two, so like a soul that was split into two. So there's two flames that are supposed to be reunited. And that's what we hear, that's what we've seen, we research, and that's what it is. Bottom line. And sometimes twin flames, they come into our life because they're here to teach us. So again, the teaching, they're teaching you, and w- you know, you can either choose to stay with your twin flame, or you can choose to part ways with your twin flame, and it's up to you. It's the same with all the other relationships. Okay. Now, I've always heard that twin flames, it's definitely more intense, but from what I heard, the difference of a twin flame intensity and then a karmic relationship intensity is that a twin flame, like you will like it just feels like you are not. It's it could kind of be mixed. I feel like people can kind of get it confused. Even I'm kind of like getting it a little like I feel like the energy is a little like it's so hard to explain, okay? So, for what I'm spiritually feeling is that a karmic relationship is not as it can be very it's heavy, okay? It's very dense and you feel very like you don't feel good even though you feel so attached, right? It's so dense, so heavy, you don't feel good, but you feel so attached. But for the twin flame, what I'm feeling here is that there's a definitely a very, very deep, 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 like connection, like you and them, almost as if you guys like see through each other. I don't, I don't really want to say much. Um, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to confuse anyone, but it just feels like for the twin flame, it's almost as if you see through each other, if that makes sense. It's almost as if you touched them or you don't even touch each other, but you like say you lock eyes with them. This is what spirit is showing me. You lock eyes with them and you just see right through them. Like and they see right through you and you guys your heart just like, you just feel it. Like, you don't know what that strong, strong flame, passion feeling is. And though I have not experienced this, I'm just sharing what spirit is sharing with me. And then the interesting part is, people are always gonna go and try to pursue certain relationships, right? And I think that's the funny part because when I was younger, that was me. It was all ego, all let me pursue this, because you get so drawn into that dreaminess, like, oh, I want a romantic relationship, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, twin flame is not, it could be romantic, but it's not 24/7 beautiful, just like every other relationship. No relationship is beautiful 24/7, okay? And I even heard that twin flames are even more and more intense, meaning like if you're not even ready, like if you haven't even like met your karmic person or try to work with your soulmate person and you just jump right into like a twin flame, like push, like I feel like you're both are going to be way too strong for each other and you're just going to butt heads, like, and then you're going to think, oh, that's just my soul, that's just my karmic partner, right? So that's the thing where there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty. So I feel that the twin flame, like, go like you can try to pursue it, but I feel like it's not what spirit just said to me is that the twin flame, you're not going to be able to pursue it. The twin flame is going to come through when it comes through for you, during the time that you need it to help you grow. Um, for the soulmate, you could choose to be with them. They could call you could call them in. But I'm feeling like for the twin flame, it's harder to call because deep down, if you're not even ready for it, you're not gonna be able to attract that very strong vibration. Um, I'm not saying you can't, but it's just that that's what spirit is showing me, that it's not an easy, like, you just go pursue it. And it's gonna happen, right? For the soulmate, I feel that you can draw and call in your soulmate more easily. That's kind of like what I did. So if you guys are interested, if you're single, okay, and you're interested in calling in your soulmate, definitely, and you want to work with me, let's do that. Um, but like definitely, I feel that the energy of the twin flame is really strong. Like you would have to meet this person more on a very, very like like a very natural and divinely. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm like, it's so hard to explain, especially like if you haven't experienced it really. But then I'm just like tuning in what spirit is sharing. Let me know if you guys have experienced any of these types of relationships, like your karmic relationship, your, soulmate relationship, or even if you met your twin flame, right? Or you felt that it was that really strong feeling, right? Where you saw through each other. Okay. I feel that so Diane, when you shared what your husband joked about must be a karmic relationship. I want to share a little more, okay? Now, now those are all the general things, okay? Now let's go into a more complex topic here. So that, and I'm going to state this so that it doesn't get confusing. When you are in a marriage, I'm going to talk about marriage first just because I don't know why. Like I feel so drawn to it. When you are in a marriage and you are with, say, say you marry your karmic partner, right? Definitely, there's just gonna be a lot of things, a lot of things that's gonna show up for you, and it's not that like I feel like it gets so complex here because you are marrying your karmic partner for a reason. It's because you have what they like to say is you had debt. Okay. You owe debt to each other. Now, whatever you guys feel, if that's your cup of thing, your cup, of tea of saying it, that's fine. And yeah, definitely that's your perception, that's okay. But for me, it's just that you truly, truly still have to learn something about from that person, and they have to learn something from you, okay? And it gets complicated. So when you are married to your karmic partner, then you're gonna notice that you both are just in the same boat. You don't ever change even after 10, 20 years. They don't ever change after 10, 20 years. Now, I'm not reading anyone's relationship. I am not reading no one's relationship. And I do not like, even though I'm sharing this and it may resonate, I'm not talking about you. Okay. I'm just talking to talk. Okay. To share what I know. I'm not talking about your relationship. Okay. So don't get it confused. This is just for like me to share what I like spiritually guided to share. So what I see is that if you marry your karmic partner, you guys will be the exact same in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Like you won't stop. You like the growth, there is growth, but you are still going to behave the exact same. You're still going to blame them. You're, they're still going to blame you. It doesn't matter. You're going to keep blaming each other till the end. Now, if you marry your soulmate, okay, then you're going to see that, yes, again, there's growth, but then you're going to see that even though they have done what they did and you are, whatever they did may not have been good, you are willing to look past that, right? And you don't make like you don't make a point to that. Like you don't make it like the constant focus where you're like, well, you are this and you will always be this, right? Like you're gonna look and say, I recognize that you have grown and you have like done your best, and this is what I see, and I'm willing to keep being with you. Let's keep doing this, right? It's a more peaceful, I feel, partnership. And even though of course there's going to be those stormy days, right? You're still going to try to make it work and find if there's any sort of like way to really grow from it. And you're going to let go. The good thing here is that you're going to let go of ego, and you're going to say, hey, I'm sorry for doing this, or I'm sorry for saying this, or hey, I don't want to fight, like I want us to do this, right? And I've seen, like, even personally in my own relationship, like I've seen my partner grow because, like, I think recently we had this whole talk about what is it? We had a talk about this one topic that does come up here and there. I just can't remember what it was about. Like it's drawing blank. But what happened was, even though I was like a little upset and I was like, whatever. And I walked away, like just in a few seconds, or no, just in a few minutes, he came back and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, like let's hug each other and let's try to, understand each other. So this is what I'm saying. Like in a soulmate relationship, you're gonna have that peacemaking relationship. For the karmic relationship, it's just gonna be shame on you, blame, 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 and then it's the it's the let's make up through intimacy. For the soulmate connection, it's let's make up through actually talking through, really hearing each other out. I'm not saying you can't be intimate too. Obviously, you can lead up to that, but for the karmic, it's just gonna be, hey, I just need, like it's like, oh, I need this, like, and then you all of a sudden it's like you're right back where you are. Like it's a cycle. It's like you hate them, you love them. It's crazy, y'all. And then you just make out and all of a sudden it fix everything, right? But then for the soulmate, you actually talk about the root of it, which is really beautiful because you're like, hey, there is a problem here and I want to address it with you. I'm gonna call it out, right? That's the soulmate level. And sometimes I'm gonna be honest, like not every soulmate is gonna end up together. Not every karmic partner is gonna end up together. Not every twin flame gonna end up with each other, okay? Because at the end of the day, the we have the power to choose. We have free will, okay? Period. Okay. So if you marry your soulmate and you notice some of those qualities, then yeah, like continue to keep working and continue to call it out. Like you're working through those things that you want to shed, okay, from your relationship, and so that you can grow. And then for the twin flame, I'm not going to say too much. I'm not experienced that. I don't know if I will, but it's just that for the twin flame, it's just from what I've heard, it's just going to be very strong. Like all I keep seeing is it's so strong, so intense. Like most time I hear that twin flames don't end up together because they're just too strong for each other. Like there's like really strong I think really strong because they are conscious and then you are conscious and then you guys really really like will like go on another level of calling each other out. That's what I'm seeing, is that it's not even gonna be the nice, like, hey, let's work this out. It's like it's extreme. Like, you do this, blah blah blah, and then be like, and then like it's like you bring you do your best to bring up like all of these things, and and because you both have worked through yourself, and it's not blaming, it's just you're really like saying that they have been doing this and really they have not done what you have really have asked, if you requested or whatever. But it just seems really really intense. And um there's what I heard too for twin flames is that there's going to be this chase, right? That there's one chaser and then one runner, and it's just gonna feel as if it's just really intense. Like the person who is the runner, whether you're the divine feminine or masculine, if you're the runner, you're not going to want to actually, you're going to do all you can to avoid whatever the chaser is doing. People that are into twin flame are always romanticizing it more than it's supposed to be. Yes, that's true. And that's why I'm just saying, people, like, I've never been in one, but it's this idea that people want to pursue these romantic relationship, but then it's not romantic. It's just it's so intense that at the end of the day, it's like, do you truly, truly want to get yourself into this, right? So you try calling your twin flame and it happens, then that's the lesson that you're gonna be learning, you're gonna be learning lessons with your twin flame. I was there once where I was like, I fell into the whole like woo woo, like, oh, I want to meet my twin flame. But it wasn't wanting to meet them because I truly was ready to do the work. It's just because we are so drawn into the big, like, the way that they romanticize and they make it seem so beautiful and dreamy. But I did come across someone and I was like, wow, I never, it changed my mind. I came across Angela there and I realized, I was like, damn, like it's not what it is. And then weeks later, I saw this post about what twin flame is, and this person explained it, and I was like, wow, like it opened a new door for me. And so this is why I'm also kind of sharing what I know too about twin flames. So I feel like strongly that the runner is always going to run and not want to actually face the chaser, and the chaser is going to chase till the end of earth for the for the runner, chase the runner. And though it's gonna be so intense, it's a very intense relationship that those who do experience it, it's because they need to learn from it. That they need to learn from each other. And part of it is that they signed up for it. But truly, yeah, like I'll be honest, like everyone here or everyone outside of here, everyone who comes back and tune into this, everyone's gonna have their own opinion, okay? Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on what single is, what open relationship is, what situationship is, what being taken, what being married is, what's karmic, what's soulmate, what's twin flame, okay? That's your opinion and that's cool, feel free to share. But I'm just sharing what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've, experienced or what I've heard. But I think it's really, I think it's good to talk about this because I think oftentimes we could be in relationships and we don't even know it, that we're not actually self evaluating ourselves. And I'm not saying this to go back and judge your relationship. I'm saying this like, hey, like really like do a check in. Like, are you really checking in with yourself, with your feelings, with who you are as a person? Like, do you truly have you done the work to really say, hey, like, I'm working on loving myself? I'm working on being aware of myself. I'm working on my confidence. I'm working on my money. My money mindset. I'm working on my, just all these other factors, right? Many people think we all need to wait. I don't know much about twin flames, so I'll have to go back and listen. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and Diane, I and everyone, I encourage you to like go do your research too because there's so many different ways of like seeing these complex relationships, and this is not the end. Like there's always going to be more to talk about. So yeah, go and do that. Many people think we all need to find our twin flame, but for me, I'm like, nope, they don't exist for me. Yeah, Angela, like our twin flame, if it's meant to happen, then it's gonna happen. But this is why I'm saying, like, people who choose to want to pursue it, they're gonna learn. Like if they do find their twin flame, they're gonna learn that lesson, right? And so that's why I'm like, for now, I'm good. I'm good where I am too. So I'm not in pursuit of anything. I truly find it that we all have to, like, we all collectively, um, whatever relationship, whether it's romantic or non romantic, we have to work through those relationships. Like anyone who comes into our life, we're going to work through those relationships first and foremost, right? There's for me, it used to be the whole like, oh, go find, pursue this, go pursue that. Like everybody wants to find the love of their life, but it's like, it's not about finding the love of their life, but I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, if you're continually chasing, 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 that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get at. If we continue to chase, we're not really attracting. So I know I know some of us know that. It's just I'm also sharing this. Spirit is like having me share this too right now because I think this is the point of this is one of the points that I'm supposed to cover here is that we could continue to chase, 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 and then we wouldn't attract the right relationships, okay, to us. And what I mean by right is the relationship that is gonna help you really elevate yourself, your consciousness, right? We could keep chasing and then get into the same relationship. You know, you like kind of like you notice some people they end up being with the same type of guy, and I like no judgment, right? Like no judgment here, or the same type of girl, right? No judgment, okay? It's just that they haven't learned that lesson yet, and so they're continuously learning that lesson over and over until they say let me break that and let me break away from it, okay. let me go f- let me go back inward, right? Because that's the beauty of it. Let me go back inward and find how do I love myself, right? And then take that out and bring that out, I mean, and then say okay, this is what this is my boundaries, right? And that's why I mentioned earlier, for those who are single, don't feel like you are a victim or don't feel like you got to go pursue so many relationships or don't feel sad, don't feel lonely. There is this moment right now, like whether like whether you're interested or not interested in a relationship, it's that you're here in this moment to reflect about you, reflect about what you like, what you want, what you need, and to do more inner healing because I feel like those who continue to keep chasing relationships, I this is just my experience, but I'm not saying this is everyone, okay? Just from what I've seen, people who continue to chase relationships, they end up being single way more times than being in a committed relationship because what happens is you're just attracting the same personality or you're attracting people who don't actually need that strong pull. They need that balance, right? They need balance and then you need balance. So that's why if you guys are off balance, then they're gonna run or you're gonna run or whatever, right? It doesn't sound like I want one either. Diane. Ooh, I just joined you again and missed your talk on it. Yeah, that's fine. You come back. It's about loving ourselves at the end and sharing those moments of happiness, joy, laughter, peace, Sarah, with whom we love. Yeah. So it's really for me, that's a really good point too, and for me, it has always been how do you love yourself? Because I feel like self-love is so important and we can love people all we want, but if we don't love ourselves, how do we show that love to others even like in a very, respectful or in a healthy way. That's the word. In a healthier way, right? Because if we give everything and then we feel resentful about it, like what's the point? So the point is we have to love ourselves enough where we can give compassion, give love, and just not be resentful for it. So I hope that makes sense. Um yeah, that's sort of what I have for relationships. Um, there's definitely more to cover. It's just that there's just so many like things. And I do invite and encourage you to really go out and explore your own relationship. Like if you feel that you haven't really, actually done the work of like, hey, how do I grow or how do we grow, right? Like with you and your partner, or, if you're not with a partner, how do I grow so that I can continue to love myself so that, you can really share that love, loving, healing energy with those around you first, right? And then if you're interested in a relationship, or if not, that's fine, but like spreading, like rippling it out. So that's what I see for all of us, and I see and I want to share. And yeah, relationships are not easy, you guys. You may date someone and feel like, oh, you're so connected to them. And the next thing you know, you're not connected with them anymore. And that could be kind of like, what is it? It could kind of be like that false. It can be like a false feeling, right? Like actually, how do I reword this? So there could be relationships, or no, there's people. There's something that I read that was so interesting, and I thought that it was really true. There was this comment I saw, and this person was like, I feel so drawn to this person. Like, I need to be with them, and yada, yada, yada. And then one person commented and said, I can't remember exactly what they said, but I'm just going to try my best to paraphrase it. What they were saying is that, like, though you feel a strong connection, like, it doesn't mean that you actually need to be in a relationship or some kind of like you don't actually need to like be in a physical relationship with them. It's sometimes it's just that you it could be that you know them, or that like from different lifetime, or it's just that you both are on that frequency where you feel drawn to them. But at the end of the day, it's like it's kind of like you could go past, you can acknowledge someone past being in a physical relationship with them. So for me, it's like, for me, how I took it was that though we come in contact with so many people every day, like, and you can have really strong relationship with others, or you don't have strong relationship with others, it doesn't, you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship with them, whether in a partnership or being friends, family, loved ones, whatever. Like, you can just acknowledge that, wow, like that connection was beautiful, that you were able to feel that with them, but you don't actually need to jump into a relationship with them. I hope that makes sense. Chemical, hormonal, or emotional connection that gets people confused with attraction to others. Yes, that is one thing too. Like, sometimes people are just in that very highly emotional, due to either chemical, hormonal, or emotional connection, that they get that mix with, I need to be with this person. But truly, you just have to be, I think you just have to be in your most authentic state, meaning, not wanting to, um the best way I could, how I see it is like, you're not wanting to pour all your emotion. Your emotions are not high there. That's the best way I can put it. So yes, Angela, that makes perfect sense. Some people, yeah, like I know, like I'll be honest, like there's some girls who like fangirl so bad, and I'm like, okay, like I've been there too. But at the end of the day, it's like that's not that's not the relationship for you. Like, I tell myself that. I'm like, oh no, that you're just fangirling. So you kind of have to also discern, differentiate. Are you just fangirling, or are you like really like, are you like, do you and that person truly have that connection, right? So it's kind of funny. Yeah. Let me see. Is there anything else? You would have to be in touch with your intuition to choose the right partner for you. Yeah. That's one thing too that I want to talk, like I want to share about, like, but then it's kind of hard to share. Sometimes, like, I don't know how to tell people this, but then I guess I'll just say it how it is. Most time when we're choosing or we're selecting, it may seem Those who are in tune, okay, let me rewind this. Those who are in tune with their intuition, those who have experienced some sort of awakening, right? Those who have said, "Hey, I want to work on my intuition, refine it." Okay, for those individuals, they are very selective, and they can be very selective, and that's because they're actually discerning what they're bringing into their energetic field. And so, same thing. Like, if you are in tune with your intuition, then like, okay, I'm bringing this energy in intuitively and consciously. And then to separate that from those who are not in tune, right? Or haven't had some sort of like spiritual awakening or some kind of like feeling of knowing, and through like the third eye, or through the chakra, the what's the word, sacral, right, the intuition, have no knowledge, and you're just still going on your day. Really, for those individuals, it just feels like you're kind of just you're kind of letting what comes through come through, and then you'll figure it out later. So it may not be true for everyone who are not in tune, but it's just that's what I feel. And I think that's really true to me, because when I was not in tune with my intuition, I was like open to whoever was willing to come through, just so I could feel feel wanted or needed or whatever, right? Because if you haven't if you haven't done the intuitive work, refining your intuition, or B, you haven't like clean out like all of the like very egotistic like feelings of like, oh, I need this, I need that, right? Um or like just the like cleaning bits, like different layers of the ego. If those have not been touched upon, then yeah, you're going to be open to whoever to come through for you. And it becomes very toxic at times, or it becomes very, you're in a desperate mode, and then you attract people who are very desperate too. That's the best way I could put it. I learned from experience, okay? And I'm sharing this so that we're all sort of on the same page. And I'm not saying, hey, you only attract desperate people. No, it's that when you don't actually intentionally know who to bring through into your space or call through, then yeah, you're gonna get all these people, all these energy. So yeah. So really, go out and find who you feel that you can work with to refine your intuition if you want to have a more intentional relationship. Yeah, no judgment if you don't want to do that. You should. Okay, once upon a time my intuition said not the one for you, and wow, that was right. Yeah, see, Diane, I think, and it doesn't mean that you have to like everyone. Okay, I also want to clarify this too. Everyone has the gift of tuning into your intuition. Okay, but we have the choice, the free will, if we want to tune into it. Sometimes we tune into it easily because it's just that your body's gonna react, right? Your body will always tell you the truth. So sometimes our body's gonna say no, 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 right? And then boom, you get it, you get the message, right? But sometimes our body's like no, 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 and then well, guess what? You you're like you continue on with what you're doing. And that's another thing I'm gonna come on another live to talk about when your body is like your body's telling you no, and you're still going because you believe the ego. And yeah, it's funny, but it's funny to think about it now, but then it was not funny. But it's definitely something you grow and learn from. And why I can, really just smile about it and laugh about it is because, yeah, I get it. Like, I get that it's something that I had to work through. And yeah, it was a good lesson. So yeah, so everyone has the gift of intuition. It's just up to you. You want to tune into it. You know, we're not more than like I'm not more special than you, or you're not more special than me. And that's the beauty of us as human beings, is that we all have this gift, and we have to, if we choose to refine it, then it really brings a lot of great things, especially in relationships. Even if it's like romantic or not romantic, it brings in it does help with communication too. Thanks for tonight. Good night, ladies. Yes, good night, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing too. I love what you share, and yes, you have opened my eyes. When I read into what you thought, when I read into what you felt and you shared about twin flame back in I think 2020, oh, 2020, I think 2021 or so, or 2022. I can't remember. Yeah, one of those years. I think 2022 maybe, or end of 2021. Yeah, it was just a really big wake up call. Oh yeah, it's end of 2021. Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, twin flame. Yeah. So definitely I'll just say this. It's your choice. You want to pursue the twin flame, go for it, but what I've seen, read, heard, I'm just like, not for me. Um, but I'm just gonna be real. We can't always decide that things aren't gonna change around for us. Okay. So whatever I say today may change. And that's why I'm saying people have free will. So if today you're like, I want to pursue my twin flame, go for it. But if one day you're like, I don't want to pursue my twin flame anymore, just know and understand, like, yeah, like that's your choice. Like, you don't have to pursue your twin flame just to feel like, oh, you are so deeply connected. You can have that beautiful soul connection with your soulmate too, or life partner, right? But yeah, so I hope that was helpful. And I hope that even though, this was definitely me also learning as I, share, that I hope this was helpful to you all. And thank you all for sharing as well. I know that, like, there, there's just a lot to share that it's kind of hard to refine. Um, but I'm just really thankful that you guys tuned in and you guys are here. And yeah, we're all here to share. It's a it's a learning space for us all. And yeah, I hope you all are doing well. And you know, it's it's Tuesday. So yeah, have a great week. I may come on, I can't, maybe Friday or Saturday night. I don't know yet. Maybe Friday or Saturday night I'll come on live too. And I'll find something for us to share. But yeah, I'm very excited for, what's more to come with this channel and with everyone who's here. And I hope, we can all continue to follow each other and grow. If you have a page, feel free to share it with me. I love to follow you as well. And really us following each other. I'm still growing, still learning, and I want to learn and grow with you all. So yeah. And I close there. Thank you so much and have a beautiful night.